It almost seems like if we would start the show at 12 o'clock or we would start the show at 1 o'clock, it doesn't matter what time that we would start the show
If
because
something happens.
yeah, it would be whatever time we would go on and finish the show would be when the next big story goes off. And that's always been the case with us. I don't know what that's all about, but that's what it do. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 290. Mike and Darby, we are inching, guys. We're 10 shows away. 10 shows away from the big 300. I can't even believe this.
That's wild. I'm loving it. Who would have thought? Who would have thought, man? Started in a kitchen.
Yeah.
Going, hey, let's do a podcast. You going, I bought the stuff. We're doing it.
Yeah. Darby, I want to bring something up that you talked about yesterday before we even get started. I noticed you briefly brought up yesterday on the show that the Browns with this new stadium and this whole thing.
Yeah,
So I looked into it a little bit, and it's even more bizarre than I was even caring to care for. Now the Browns, they are in the works now of a possible $1 billion stadium renovation. $1 billion. I mean, a football team, that's about what they're worth. So a $1 billion stadium renovation, but that isn't the craziest part, Derby. The craziest part of that is this $1 billion stadium renovation up in Cleveland for the Browns could force the Browns to play elsewhere for 3 seasons.
jeez.
I mean, if this isn't the most Cleveland Brown thing I've ever heard in my life, 3 seasons. I mean, you recall when they were building or rebuilding or whatever they were doing to the Soldier Field over there in Chicago, when they had to play down at Champaign, down at the University of Illinois. It was like a season, and you had to watch the Bears. And when you watched them there at the university, it was the thing. 3 seasons. What are they doing? You might as well build a new stadium. That is insane.
That is
Yeah.
the most
I
Cleveland Browns move in the history of the Cleveland Browns.
That is right behind not getting the paperwork across the table to get to sign Matt Castle. Who was it? Garoppolo?
It was
Matt
a trade
Castle.
it was a trade for AJ McCarron. They were going to make a trade for AJ McCarron, and they couldn't
get the paperwork in by 4 o'clock.
I mean,
So
in the
they
long
missed
run, it
out
kinda
on
helped.
having themselves a franchise quarterback. This is right up there with that when you're talking Cleveland Browns. 3 seasons? Where are they going to play?
My guess, maybe Ohio State, maybe Canton.
That would be so
Canton's-
funny if they would have to go to Canton. That would be a.
But I don't even think Canton can house them.
They couldn't. They couldn't be able to.
I would think Ohio State then.
Yeah, Ohio State would be the next biggest. Miami University, maybe. I don't know, like what. There's like no real big colleges. Up
Isn't
north.
Miami like over more near Cincinnati?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
That's insane.
Maybe Akron.
What do they have? Do they have a football field?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the University of Akron. Yep.
Is it?
Yeah,
I mean, is it big enough to house the Browns? And that's the thing. I mean, as much as we make fun of the Browns, they have a huge fan base. I mean, how are you gonna? This is the biggest one of the best Cleveland Brown things that I've read in a long time. When I seen that Derby, I thought, you know what? I kind of brushed over because it was the Browns yesterday. But when I read this, I thought, wow, this is a big story. 3 seasons.
That makes you're gonna lose so much money.
You gotta make a new stadium if you're
You
gonna.
might
do this.
as well. You might as well. Here's the thing. What's a new stadium?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, because you figure like if you're gonna get a new stadium, you're gonna play 1 year maybe somewhere else.
Yeah.
Didn't it when the Steelers when the
I wish we would have made one.
down, it was like what 1 season, boom, they were there that next season, right? For PNC Park.
Yeah. The Steelers didn't miss a
Yeah.
beat. I don't know how that. Yeah.
Yeah, Steelers players didn't miss a beat. Because you're building them in a different location at the same time. But my God, you figure they would be able to do the same thing.
Oh, not in Cleveland. They can't.
I love it. I love it.
This is this really made my day. It really did, guys.
The
I-
poverty
I-
Browns for you, everybody. The poverty Browns.
Well, and don't even get me started because I got more.
Oh no.
Well, go across the state to the shithole on the west side of the state, Cincinnati. Now the Reds, on Monday night, guys, the Cincinnati Reds, they had the lowest attendance in modern history for a
Even worse
Cincinnati
than
Reds
Oakland?
game. What's that?
Even worse than Oakland?
Yeah.
I mean, just for the Reds, for the
Oh,
as
just
far
for
as
the
the
Reds.
numbers for the Reds, on Monday was their worst night. They took a count 11 minutes before the game started.
How many were there?
I don't know, but you know what? It did say, but I forget. But there was the pitcher. I mean, there looked like there were 6 people in that stadium. It was insane. What's going on in Ohio? What are you drinking over there?
Hey, you know,
I think it's just Cincinnati.
it's Cincinnati. It's it's Cleveland. We're taking after the Pirates, man. That's what the Reds were doing. They're just like, hey, it worked for the Buccos. We're gonna try it, see if it works for us. We're gonna
I
suck.
guess.
We're gonna suck, and then just come back and be good. I don't get it.
I take that back. That's just Cincinnati fans in general. When they're not good, they don't watch.
Well,
And I
that's
acknowledge-
the same thing with Pittsburgh fans.
I think
man.
that's baseball in general. If your team isn't good, it's hard to fill stadiums, which I think
You're
Yeah,
right. You're right.
You have to be good in baseball.
you gotta be
for
good.
people to come out. Yeah, because you're
back in their
sitting there for that
stadiums, the
long.
Yankees are, the Braves, generally do, the Giants. You gotta even that league out. And when I say that, I mean, look at what they did to the way the National Football League is, how they created a system to where it basically runs itself through. In general, teams should, over a certain period of time, have themselves a decent chance to get back in it with their draft system. Everything they have in place. Baseball really needs to come up with something, because I think, and it would be crazy to say that this is just starting. I mean, this has been the majority of my life. I've seen problems with baseball packing stadiums, with the exception of the home run chase between McGuire, Sosa, and then eventually Barry Bonds. But I mean, baseball, come on, what can they do? What can they do, guys?
They need a salary cap, and it's never going to happen, though.
They need a salary cap. Absolutely, that right there, that is that's a big part of it.
They need a cap in it, but it's never going to happen because they don't want that.
Right.
The owners don't want it. And,
They will.
They have revenue sharing. There's like a luxury tax or whatever. That's about it. And
They will let that
That's what
league.
they want.
They will let that sport fail before the greed gives
There's
in.
big market teams. There's average market teams, and then you got your small market teams.
And as I was saying, the small market teams don't stand a chance. Every once in a while, the Florida, the Marlins come out of nowhere and win a World Series, or Oakland has a really good year, or Pittsburgh had, it's insane. They need a way to equalize that league out. Otherwise, it's doomed. The Major League Baseball is doomed. And again, I don't think there's issues. Don't get me wrong, and they're working on fixing some of them. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the pitch clock. I love it. I haven't been so happy to watch baseball in my entire life. I mean, really, because there's times when you're watching the game and you just look over at that clock, just as your mind starts to get bored, you're like, oh, he only has 6 seconds to throw it. And this is something, and I think as the younger generation moves up, and there's less patience, only because the younger generation is, they're more adapt to things being, you click a button on your phone and you could talk to somebody on the other side of the planet within seconds. So I think that things like that are going to be good moving forward for the sport. Of course, the old heads don't like it. That's what it is. What it is. But I think that they're doing things, but ultimately you have to.
I don't like it either, but it adapts to the times.
Absolutely, and you have to fix the league. As I said,
Exactly.
the NFL is designed in a way to help over time everybody continue to be a cycle, and everybody to kind of have a chance. And I just think that with the way baseball is, and again with the salary cap, that's a big issue. But how far are they going to have to fall? But I guess as long as the Yankees keep winning and a couple of these other teams, they're fine with that.
Yeah, they've always been fine with that.
Yeah, they don't care. You know,
That's
as
where
long
the
as
money's coming from. That's
yeah,
coming from
they
the
in
Bronx.
baseball, man, they love the big market
Funny
teams
thing
to
is, they haven't
win.
won since 2007 or
You're right.
2009.
Yeah, but they're still a relevant franchise.
Probably the most relevant. I mean,
About choking, you mean?
But they're
The
relevant.
last
People
14 years.
Yeah, but people still want to watch them. People still want to talk about
absolutely. And you have 26, I think 23, 26 championships under your belt. There's not much you could take away from these guys. Even if, they go the next 10 years and they win about 7 games total, they're still going to be one of the best franchises ever.
But that was before the new stadium, though.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. They're still a marquee franchise.
Well, the results of, the last 12 years.
Yeah, but people still want to watch them. You know why? That's why they're always on ESPN. That's why they're always being talked about.
And stadiums always get filled.
Yankees. Why do you
when
think,
the Yankees come to Pittsburgh, that stadium gets packed. Everybody wants to see the Yankees.
Yeah, that's people still talk about the Steelers, the Packers,
everybody
the
wants to see the Steelers. Everyone wants to see the Lakers. Everyone wants to see
these teams. Really, if you think about it, the Steelers, Cowboys, Packers haven't been really relevant since
right.
Steelers in the Super Bowl.
Cowboys. I figure the Cowboys ain't won a Super Bowl since '95.
Talk about those 3 teams, man. Even the 49ers, they haven't been relevant for a while, but they're a marquee franchise.
The 49ers hasn't won a Super Bowl since the mid '90s. Here we are, 30 years later. Of course, but that guys was something that I thought was hysterical. I really did. I thought that is one of the most Cleveland things I've ever heard, and probably the most Cleveland thing that I've heard this year. But we're not going to sit around all day and dwell on what Cleveland is doing. We are going to talk a little bit about the Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates guys are on pace for 99-63. They are on pace for 99-63 season. So, Mike, you might have just thrown your World Series tickets away a little bit too early. I'm going to hold on to mine a little bit longer. They're on pace for a 99-63 season. The St. Louis Cardinals, on the other hand, are on pace for a 63-99 season. I think everybody knows
162.
I think how everyone's going to turn knows how this is going to turn out. The Cardinals are going to finish 99-63, and the Pirates are going to finish 63-99. That's just the way that it goes.
That's literally how it goes.
That is literally how it goes. The Pirates, they win again last night. Their record is now 11-7. Colorado falls to 5-13. I love this thin air. I got to say, I wish the Pirates' home stadium was Coors Field.
Right? We need that thin air.
But get this, though. Pirates are 8-4 on the road to this point. They won 2 series now. They lost 2 series, and they tied the 4-game series between the Cardinals. They're 8-4 on the road, 3-3 at home, which doesn't sound like much.
This is bad.
They only played 6 games at home. After today, they come back home to play the Reds, and then they do have a home stand. So hopefully we could build those numbers up at home. But today they do. Game 3 is only at 3:10 this afternoon. So if you get a chance after the show, maybe go grab something to eat and check out the Buccos. They do play at 3:10. Oviedo is on the hill. Check this out. He got a 1-1 record with a 2.45 ERA and 19 strikeouts in his starts so far this year. And Gomer for the Rockies has an 0-3 record with an 8.16 ERA and 11 strikeouts on the season. It is teetering in our favor. It would be nice to get another sweep out of the first 5 series to start the season. Would be a great sign for the Pittsburgh Pirates. But not just a team. I want to talk about a couple of the players that, geez, oh man. I don't know if you guys caught the game. Derpy was probably watching the Guardians get swept in their doubleheader yesterday. So I'm going to assume that you didn't watch the Pirates. But the Jack Suwinski, guys, he had a home run 2 nights ago. Get this, off of a fielder, off of a field player, because we were beating them 14-3.
Yeah, 14.
They send in one of their field players to pitch just at the end of the game. Some teams do this. So Jack Suwinski takes him yard. Then turn forward to yesterday's game. Jack Suwinski's first at bat, he goes yard. Jack Suwinski's second at bat, he goes yard. 3 plate appearances in a row, Jack Suwinski goes yard. And that's not the first time that happened. That also happened 2 years ago, which laid right around Father's Day. As a matter of fact, I think the 3rd game was on Father's Day against the Giants that season. But this is the second time that Jack Suwinski who some people say shouldn't even be on this roster, which I think they're crazy, say that this is the second time that he goes back, back to back to back himself by plate appearance. You gotta like what these guys are doing now. And as I was telling you earlier, I have a little way that I monitor the season, and we're going to do that here on Friday because of the way this plays out. But guys, we could be 13-7 here in another day.
That's yeah, that's feasible. I think it probably is going to happen. It wouldn't
Definitely,
surprise me.
very good chance.
Very good chance. Like speaking about like Jack Sawinski, like last year, my God, he batted 202.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was not off to. He did not have a good year last year, even though he did have 20 home runs. But
We got a pop, dude.
He got 19 home runs, 38 ribbies. So like some production's there, but not. You would hope someone hitting close to 20 home runs would have more than 40 ribbies. You hope. He has 41 strikeout or 41 walks to 111 strikeouts. If he can get the plate discipline, because his batting average is up this year to 265. And he's cutting down his strikeouts to walks right now. He's 11 strikeouts, 5 walks. That's a much better ratio.
Yeah.
If he can, get that down, he'd be a pretty serviceable ball player.
The beauty about Jack, he's not even he could be an everyday player, but by the way that we play our lineups, and basically it switches every day.
Yeah.
He doesn't play every day. I think maybe something like that could hurt a hitter like Jack because he needs to, get his consistency down, get his timing down. But he's not in the lineup every single day. He puts me in mind, and as you said, he's getting better in a sense with his strikeout to walk ratio. His, all that stuff is improving a little bit. But he's one of these guys that almost like a Canseco. Don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing Jack Sawinski to Jose Canseco back in the day, but you had these guys that they either hit a home run or they strike out, and that's the way that Jack came off to me last year. When he was at bat, you were going to get a home run or you were going to get a strikeout, and I was okay with that. But if he wants to become a more permanent player in the league, he's going to have to fix that. And I think he is. He's certainly adapting this year, and his numbers, like you said, are getting a little bit better. But he's certainly a joy to watch. You watch Jack Sawinski, and you could tell he loves the game. He gets in the dugout after the home runs. He's dancing through with the swords. You got to love what these guys are doing right now.
He might be right now at this point of his career to be better off to just be like that role player.
Right.
Just come in, get those limited at bats so you can work on all this, everything off the field, taking the BP off the field, working with the hitting coach to build that up instead of being thrown out there day in, day out and getting exposed. Kind of looked like he was last year. So keep him in, it's a game here and there, like one game a series.
And that's the guy everyone wanted to get rid of.
Yeah. I would keep him. He's turning it around. This is only last year was his first full year in the majors. He's only 24 years old. Kind of see what he has. This is like most of our prospects when they come up, they're 24, 25. He, at least made it up at 23. See what he has. Put him out there. I'm okay with it. Because right now we're winning. He's not hurting the team.
Yeah, and that's the guy they wanted to get rid of. They wanted to get rid of the guy that was a consistent everyday player because that guy wasn't producing. As you were saying, this could help him ease his way, into the majors a little bit easier, and also it gives him an opportunity to sit out a game for other people to step in, and kind of move lineups around. So I think what's going on right now for the Pirates, it's a win-win-win-win-win. Not many things are going bad for this team. They just got to keep doing what they're doing. And with this Derek Shelton, they're really rallying around this guy. I don't know much about him personally. I've seen him now for as long as he's been here, but they like him. He likes them, and they're winning baseball games. So at this point, just keep doing what you're doing, right?
Yeah, because he finally getting some better ball players around him.
Yeah.
God, last year it literally was a hodgepodge of nothingness that he had to deal with. But there were decisions he made last year that were head scratchers. You're like, why are you doing that? Now this year, go, better talent around. The talent, that had promise is actually starting to play up to their potential. So, he's not making the boneheaded decisions. There's no weird lineup decisions that people are going, what the hell are you doing? So you give them players, you give a manager players, you're going to see how good they really are.
Yeah.
Because if you give them bad players, My God, you can't do much except be a cheerleader. Now I think he's being able to manage more, and so far things are looking good. But like you said, man, we're only about 20 games in.
Yeah.
There's still Derpy. How many left? How many do we play? You're leaving me hanging.
162, and I believe there's 142.
Yep. The one about 142 left. We play 162, so a lot can change. Like I said, I'll start getting. I'm quasi excited about this team, but I call me at All-Star break and the trade deadline, see where we're at.
Exactly.
Because like you said, man, the season's so long. I want to see how what's going to play out, where we're sitting. What's the rumors swirling the team? Are we going to be buyers? Or are we just going to sit still? Because if
I would try to get an arm.
Yeah, if we're playing this well, this team needs to be buyers, and like you said, get more pitching. Because the offense seems to be there. You need some more.
Now this is where
I think it's going to be wild card.
Now this is where I was going to go with that, Mike. Now you said about the pitching. Now this is 7 straight quality starts. Last night with Velasquez, he has 6 innings pitched, and that's what their goal is. They're trying to get their starters to the 6th inning. He gets to the 6th inning, gives up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. And then you got Oviedo on the hill today, and then Contreras tomorrow. So considering that we're playing in Coors Field today, I think that we're going to be fine. Then come home to play the Reds tomorrow. So the starting pitching right now is holding up their own. But as stated, I can't imagine that these 5 guys could go through all 62 games, 6 months of baseball, the heat, the dog days of summer, the rain delays, the dominant teams coming to town. There's a lot that goes into a baseball season, a lot that goes into baseball season. So as you were saying, I do, as the trade line does start to approach, and again, that's still even a long way, but when that comes, hopefully that is something they will address, because if we still are in the hunt at that point, you're going to want an arm or two. Because these teams, they sell. A lot of these teams that have good names, you could bring a guy over for the last month of the season, have him pitch and try to get you in the playoffs, blah blah blah, go from there. We've been through that. So
don't be afraid to trade these young prospects to go for the win.
Right.
We saw what happened,
because the window's very small for these small market teams.
It is too. That's where we messed up. Like the year after we had the Cueto game, that we should have been all in.
Yeah.
Like getting players, making big trades, and they did it, and look what happened.
Yeah.
We're excited that we're about to have a positive 20 game stretch. When we should have been like content. They could have contended for a World Series, but they didn't, because they were afraid to trade young prospects for proven veterans to get over the hump.
Yeah.
And don't do that this year. If you're close, go all in for the next 2 years. And I'd rather have go all in for 2 years and it blow up and fail than not go all in, and you just
at some point you got to go all in.
You have like a 4-year window of mediocrity, and then you're back to nothing.
They went decades without going all in. At some point you got to go all in. You got to do something, Yeah,
and don't let like the Archer trade, that happened around that time, make you afraid to pull the trigger.
Right.
Bad trades happen. My God, look at Jim Rutherford when they were winning back-to-back cups. Bad trades were mixed in between the good ones. You know what he did? He made more trades to correct the bad trades, and those trades became good trades. That's what you have to do as a GM and an ownership group. Don't be afraid to shake it up. Like, oh, you know what? We messed up. Guess what? We're going to make another trade to fix this.
David Bednar gets his 5th save last night. He's solid. A couple other performances, guys. Connor Joe had a double and he had a triple. Some of these guys are just so over it. I don't know if these guys are going to remember this, but the 1997 Pirates baseball season, Jason Kendall, Joe Randa, Kevin Polkovich, Mark Smith, guys like this, Francisco Cordova, these pitchers. It puts me in mind of this team because, there's so many guys that probably aren't superstars, but they're overachieving. And this Connor Joe, I mean, he's not new in the league. He's been, he's almost 30. He's been in the Rockies organization for a few years, and he's here, and he's just, every at bat, you just know that Connor Joe's going to do something. Last night, same thing, a double, a triple. It's really fun to watch. Also, did anybody see? No, did you just watch this game last night by any chance? I know you didn't, Mike. You had
no,
to.
I
Derby,
had
did
to
you
work.
catch
I
the
was out.
Pirates highlights? Anything?
I didn't catch the highlights.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I'm putting this on Derpy's progress report to send his mom.
Wow.
Yeah, he's gonna start getting progress reports from now on.
No, I didn't.
There's a guy, Marcano, on our team. He came in and played second base last night. I haven't even seen him to this point. He got on base. I forget what happened. I think
Is it a prospect?
I that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. I seen his name throughout, and then last night I seen him play, and he ended up getting on third base. I think he stole third base, or got on third base somehow, and then he stole home on this ball that just barely slipped away from the catcher. The catcher takes it and he tosses it to the pitcher who came in to cover home plate. And if you haven't seen this, please take time today to look up the highlight of Marcano, the second baseman for the Pirates last night, slide into home. How he was able to maneuver his body to duck under this slide was amazing. Nothing short of amazing. This is one of the best plays at home I've seen in a long time. He looks like he's beat on the play. The pitcher turns around and goes to, take his glove with the ball to tag him. And he just kind of gets right under. I don't know how I don't know how he did not get tagged out, but it was, like I said.
I'm watching it now. It's like a real grainy video, so I'm not going to pull it up on the screen because my computer's running.
Okay.
Slow. But yeah, I see what you're saying. He did like a stumble down in.
Yeah, and he kind of like, do you see the way he
yeah,
torqued his body to the left to avoid that?
Yeah, it wasn't like the most smooth and athletic play I've seen. It looked like an awkward front slide.
Yeah,
but it worked. It was effective. It threw everyone off. It threw the catcher off because the catcher's probably thinking, okay, he's going to be here, and he wasn't. He was in some different spot. They
win, and ultimately that run.
How?
Do you see it, Derpy?
I just saw it. How?
It was amazing.
Right? It makes no sense, but I tell you what, for a guy batting 111,
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think last night was even man. I mean, does it even have how many games played that he has? That was the first time that I've seen.
It's 4 game plays, 9 at bats, 1 hit, 1 run. He has a triple, 2 walks, a strikeout.
What mentality went into that slide?
What's that?
You know what mentality he was thinking?
You know what? I don't even think that I could think that.
Any ideas of what mentality he was going into that slide?
What mentality?
Do you have an answer, or
do you have an answer?
Yes.
Is that rhetorical?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I don't know, because my response is I couldn't think that fast. I mean, if you're moving full speed, the ball's coming. You have to slide. You know where the play is. I don't even know how he hit the plate with his.
You could dodge a wrench. You could dodge a ball.
Classic. But
that's the mentality he was thinking.
Yeah,
because that definitely was not Mamba mentality. He did not channel his inner Kobe.
Right.
I'll tell you that right now.
And I was fist pumping here, at the studio, and I'm watching the game. I thought it was very this year Piratey to me. This is just the way that things are going for these guys, and you want this to continue as long as it can, and it takes me back. It takes me back, 10 years ago. And
they gotta add a pirate hat in the dugout, maybe too.
Well, they'll go with the sword. You need a pirate hat, and we have the perfect design for.
But for right Mike, now, Mike is with the sword.
Mike
does not. The AI that gave Mike
with the AI has designed the perfect pirate hat for this situation.
Oh no.
Shut up, both of you.
But I was scoreboard watching last night, and we do need the Brewers to lose eventually, and they just are not losing. But this is good, though. This is good, I think.
Putting pressure on them.
They're putting pressure, and that's always the kind of things that as we said yesterday, there's always that one other team. And if you have that one other team, you're going to play better because you're trying to keep up, you're trying to pass them. And before you know it, you look, you're 20 games down the road, and it's like, hey, we're in good shape. So I do, I like that. I appreciate that. I think that the Cardinals lost, the Reds lost, but the Cubs also, they did win. So the Cubs and us are both 2 games behind the Brewers at this point. We still haven't played any of these teams. I can't wait to start seeing some head-to-head against these teams that are ahead of us, just to see where we stand. See, are these teams really that good? I mean, is this going to be a showdown in the division? So I mean, there's still a lot. There's still a lot to be seen.
You know what?
At
You know what
11
this
and
team
7, you
reminds me
can't
of?
say that you're not enjoying it.
You know what this team reminds me of, fellas?
What's that?
And I like the Guardians, but it reminds me of the 2013 team
Yes.
from Cleveland.
Well, it
And
reminds
yours,
me of the
and yours, but you
2013
get my
team from
point because it
Pittsburgh,
has
but they were
vets.
both very similar teams.
there. I was like, what's he?
They were
what's
both
he
Both
rapping
basically,
about?
but you
teams.
get my
Yeah.
point though, because
Yeah.
They were both very similar teams. I remember watching because they had the wild card game in Cleveland one night and the fans were going crazy. And then they had the wild card game in Pittsburgh the next night. The fans were going crazy. Those were two. You know what, Derpy, you're right. Those are two very similar seasons. And a lot of people don't even realize that. So that's Pirates. Anybody have anything else to add to the Pittsburgh Pirate talk before we move on?
I got nothing. No, I am surprised. And anyone who honestly thought the Pirates would be doing this well this early, you are lying, because not many people did. Like,
Yeah.
you have people saying, "Oh, we're gonna win 120," blah blah blah. He's like, okay,
I told you though.
yourselves. But like,
Yeah.
come on, everyone thought that they would be, 500 would be a success, or like 10 games above 500.
Yeah, just because we're so used to being so bad. I mean, that's
just because based on the lineup. So anyone who's saying you call this, you're lying. But I'm glad they're playing well.
I told you though at the beginning of the season though.
Well, that's typically what the Buckets do.
To be optimistic.
I mean, when you brought in,
right now,
I think the thing was nobody really wanted to admit that bringing in Carlos Santana and just a couple of these other names that we might want to, that we might be
but he still
a little bit better.
Nobody
wanted to admit that, but I think in the back of people's minds, they said, you know what, they really tried, and we joked, and people that didn't joke say that they brought McCutchen back for a PR move just to put fans in seats, which I honestly believed. But in the back of people's minds, they thought, you know what, there's a chance this team could be a little bit better. They, say what you want about Bob Nothing, and we do. We say what we want about Bob Nothing. But things are a little bit better. So, I guess we're at a stalemate here, and we'll just kind of wait for something bad to happen for us to go back, to start attacking him again. Because I literally have nothing to say about the guy at this point.
There's going to be something happening. Yeah, it's the Buccos. Come on now.
Yeah.
We can't have nice things.
You know what? You know what I would keep an eye on if you're going to compete?
What's that?
You may not like it, or you may like it. Chapman.
Oh, I love Chapman. Aroldis
Chapman, yeah.
Is
he's
he
in the Royals and he's doing decent right now. He's actually doing pretty good.
I was gonna say, yeah, because he fell off big time.
Yeah, but he's doing pretty good.
Still throwing 100 miles an hour?
Yeah.
I'll take it. Where's he at now? What's he even going?
He's in Kansas City.
Kansas City. Last time I heard he was in
New
York.
Saying. You could
he was
probably
a Yankee
get a deal at the arm at the deadline or prior to the deadline.
He's a southpaw. He's throwing 100 miles an hour. I would take him. The thing is about Aroldis, I mean, we have a closer though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He's a very good closer.
He can be a setup.
If I could use Aroldis as a setup guy, an 8th inning, a 7th inning guy, I would take Chapman.
But like I said, your pen isn't the best. Your starting is pretty, decent, but your pen isn't.
No, we got one guy in the bullpen that's pretty bad, and he keeps making his way to the hills. That Crowe, Crowe. I wish they would.
That's his name.
Yeah, well, that's his last name. I wish they would stop sending him out there, because every time he comes out, bad things happen.
It's Brian Shaw in a nutshell.
Yeah.
The Buccos. Nothing can ever be really, really good with the Buccos. There's always going to be one or two things wrong with the Buccos.
Yeah.
It's the doubt seeps into my mind.
PNC Park today, big game, backyard brawl. West Virginia Mountaineers make their way to PNC Park to play the Pitt Panthers today in the backyard brawl baseball game. This game is at 6:00 this evening. Get down there. I bet you that'd be a good time. I've never been to a backyard brawl baseball game, but I'm sure West Virginia travels well, and being in the backyard, I'm sure they make their way up here. So get down and enjoy game today, 6:00.
I want to say one more thing, and then before we should go on to the next topic. I want to say one more thing, and then the next topic. That's just something small.
Oh, what's up, man? Good.
like I said prior to the season, your best bet is probably a wild card. Just be optimistic. Pirates fans need to be optimistic as of right now.
The thing is about Pirates fans, we know that the wild card is basically what we're shooting for. However,
but I wouldn't count the division out.
I wouldn't count this division out. I would count winning a division out, but this division I think is very winnable. I think, like I said, we're gonna have to see what Milwaukee really has. We're gonna have to see what the Cubbies really have, and what that's gonna take is us playing them over a period of time.
You know, one series come out of nowhere.
One series isn't going to tell the tale. You know, you got to play through. You know, see where, as Mike says, let's wait till right around the All-Star break. Then you kind of have a feel, and then see how they come out after the break. And it's like, okay, now I'm comfortable believing in this team. So
just be optimistic. All I say, that's all I'm saying. Just be optimistic as of right now.
The Reds coming into town tomorrow, so we do got some more division games. I want to see the Brewers. I want the Brewers right now. And I'm not confident. I'm not talking shit. I want to see the Brewers. I want to see how we play them. I want to see what their pitching is, and where we stand against them.
They're always like our Achilles heel. Recently, they've been the Achilles heel.
We haven't been able to beat the Brewers for 30 freaking years for some reason. Even when they're bad, we were good against the Brewers for 2 seasons. It wasn't even all 3 seasons that we were successful 10 years ago. It was 2 of the seasons. And I don't even know much about the Brewers anymore. But if
their pitching fails down the stretch,
if that Ryan Braun is even anywhere near that franchise, he's not still over there, is he?
I don't think he is.
No,
I mean, he should be an old guy right now. But again, so should Andrew McCutchen. So I didn't know if he was still lingering somewhere, because that Ryan Braun, he's been a pirate killer forever, man.
Like everyone on that team's a pirate killer. They just change. Like, oh, we need someone to beat the Buccos here. It's your
turn.
Since
we beat the crap out of that sausage. Randall Simon beat the sausage with the
some bull crap.
But we probably should move on.
No, I'm gonna keep talking about the Buccos now.
That is the first time I've ever heard Mike say that in my life.
I know.
He's usually the one running from the conversation.
You know what? Hold on. First one of the day. There we go. All right.
What was that?
I muted Derpy.
You muted me.
Oh. The head-to-head is heating up between these two rivals. The head-to-head is heating up between these two rivals. Does anybody know who I'm talking about?
XFL, USFL.
XFL, USFL.
I was just reading. I was just saw it on the Twitter.
Mike, the numbers are good. But I'm having a hard time getting a solid count here on what the numbers exactly were. I'm not going to get too far into it. I just find it interesting because they are jawing back and forth at one another. What I read was, let's see, the USFL, not including Peacock games on Peacock, had a total throughout the weekend of 3.1 million viewers through all the games. The XFL, without including ESPN Plus games, had a total of 2.3 million. So I would say that people probably tuned in more to the USFL because it was in the first season, or it was in the first week, rather. People haven't seen them yet. More people are going to tune in. I'm seeing that the XFL had 75,000 people in attendance this weekend. And the Vegas versus Houston game was the highest viewed game. I'm also reading that USFL is up 4% from last season with their numbers. Again, week 1, it's hard to go by because, of course, that number is going to drop after week 1. But in my opinion, I'm really, I know I said this yesterday, but I'm digging this rivalry. They're so kind of, and right now that it's head to head for these 3 or 4 weeks or whatever it is that they're going to be head to head. I'm really enjoying this because, again, my numbers, I've read about 30 different numbers at this point. This is kind of basically the collective of what I got from everything, and kind of seems to sort of make sense. But what it seems to me is it's going to be neck to neck, Mike.
I think it's like there's people who just want to watch the USFL, people who just want to watch the XFL, and then there's like big group in the middle that's watching both.
Yeah.
That's going to sit there and watch both games, or like I'm going to watch one from here and one from there, and like both leagues are competing for that middle ground fan.
Yeah.
Like Yeah. So it's kind of like, God, man, back in the days of the Monday Night Wars, you had your people who just wanted to watch Nitro, people who just wanted to watch Raw, then those ones that flip back and forth between the two, and that's where you're gonna find, you're gonna get that one onto your side to get your numbers up, because right now like numbers are fluctuating, but like more or less like the same amount of people are watching. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
but which product are you watching more? So there's there's a lot of overlap in the two because of that
And the
huge
XFL
people
comes
in the
out,
middle.
and I see the commercial, and I said, you get down on the field, there's camera, isn't there, helmets and this and that. The XFL comes out and they have this and that. At this point, I'm just watching for probably about 3 reasons. For one, because it's football in the spring. For two, I don't have a favorite. I think both of these entities are very interesting, and I personally don't see why they shouldn't be one. But again, I guess you kind of have to go through steps in life and everything else. But you know what, Mike? I'm just enjoying watching this. I love it. I like learning about the XFL teams, the players. I love learning about the USFL teams, the players. At this point, I have no personal preference. I'm really enjoying football.
Me too. More football, the better.
More football, the better. With that being said, guys, let's take the jump over to the NFL. Big news as we were on the show yesterday. Allen Robinson, 29-year-old Allen Robinson, signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers. King Khan really gets it done, guys. And when I say King Khan really gets it done, this is what I mean.
A money situation.
You might. This guy, I don't know what he's up to. As a matter of fact, I'll get to this in a second. But let's see. So the Steelers, they receive Allen Robinson, 29-year-old former All-Pro receiver, and we get a pick back, which is roughly 17 picks lower than the 7th round pick that we had. So Steelers receive Allen Robinson plus a 7th round pick at 251. The Rams, they receive a 7th round pick, which was 234, or number 234 pick overall. How the hell does Khan keep?
That's it.
And all we have to pay is $5 million left on this dude's salary.
Yeah, he had like what, a $15 million cap hit. They've already paid $5 million of it. So there was 10, and Omar's like, yeah, you're gonna take that other half, and we're just flopping 7th.
And I hear the Rams, they have to take the whole entire city of Pittsburgh out to dinner this evening. I just don't know how Omar Khan is getting this done. That
trade compounded with the trade with Chicago for Chase Claypool, getting the 2nd round pick that turns into pick 32 overall. This guy is a wizard. He is a Jedi. He is doing something freaky to the rest of the league. Maybe it's because he's new and people think they're fleecing him, where in actuality, he's fleecing them. Maybe he's going in just playing it dumb and naive and going, hey man, I'm just the numbers guy. To me, the numbers make sense for this. And they're like, yeah, okay, buddy, here, whatever. Like, I like, Allen Robinson, his production the past couple of years has been down. He's been hurt the past 2 years. But you look not too far long ago in 2020, 102 catches, 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns. Not bad. Not bad in that Chicago offense with Mitch Trubisky. The year before, 98 catches, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. Not bad.
Like that's more effective than Deontay Johnson this previous year.
Yeah, in the different circumstances and everything, Derpy. I can pull up Deontay Johnson's career numbers, but we're not talking about that right now. Stay on topic. Or I'll mute you.
I still don't understand how he didn't get a single touchdown. Every other player on the team got a touchdown except for
he caused Fryermuth's numbers to drop. That's all I'm saying. Our quarterback situation was not that great last year, but we see what Allen.
But as bad as it was, everybody else scored a touchdown.
Barely.
No, everybody else scored a touchdown. That's all that counts.
Hey, he caught two-point conversions that were clutch. Okay, but no, Allen Robinson. His 2nd year in the league, he had 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns with Jacksonville and with Chicago. He's been on some bad teams with some bad quarterback play. So, or average quarterback play, maybe. So coming here, he's another weapon, and he's proved that he doesn't need top flight quarterbacks to put up numbers. So we'll see what he can do with a 2nd-year quarterback.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, the weapons that we have, I just all the and as I said to Mike yesterday, Omar Khan's already replaced 1/5 of the team.
Yeah.
11 guys in this free agency. You have 53 guys on a team. That's more than one out of every 5 guys that we've replaced. This is gonna be a whole new team. We're not even gonna recognize half of this team.
Yeah. I tell you what, this trade right here, not to cut you off, it's taking wide receivers off the board in the draft. So this either means
maybe late round, maybe
I don't know, because they have their top 3 set. They already have they have a couple of Calvin Austin and a couple other receivers on here. So I don't think they're taking a receiver. This is either they're going to double dip a tackle or corner, or they are trading up, knowing, okay, hey, we got our receiver. We don't have to get one in the draft for this year. We're going to trade up. I think they're going all in to push to contend for the division this year.
Oh, absolutely.
The playoffs.
I think we got a good
moves
chance.
they're making. So that's why you're either going to, I can see them moving up to 9. Hey, we're going to get, if Jalen Carter's there, we're going to get him and make that defense even more disruptive. Or if he's gone, hey, we're going to go get Paris Johnson Jr. to solidify this line to protect who we think is our franchise quarterback. And that's going to help us in the long run and this year as well. So I think Omar Khan's going all in this year.
I don't think that I don't think we're going to get Jalen Carter.
I'm just saying, like, the way it's like, if all the rumors that are out there, this kind of makes sense. Those rumors make sense.
I would love to have Jalen Carter in the middle of our defensive line, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't.
But on the other point that you were making, the other point that you were making was this. I think that this also this gives us more flexibility in the wide receiver position, so we don't have to go after that guy. I think that getting another young guy in that wide receiver core wouldn't have probably been the wise thing to do at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe see how this season goes, go after a receiver next year, see what our needs are next year, maybe try to get that higher receiver next year. I just don't know if you're going to get, I guess we could get a late round wide receiver and he could turn into something like Antonio Brown.
Maybe in the 7th round.
But again, that was a freakish situation. I just think that he completed the wide receiver core, and him being a veteran is kind of what we needed. With a second-year guy in George Pickens, with Austin the third, and then, like I said, you bring in another guy. That's 3 guys within their first 2 years, which is amazing talent-wise. But you do need leadership, and you do need some some older heads, in the sense where you could say Deontay Johnson, other people might boo him out of the stadium. I think that this worked perfect for what the Steelers are doing. Let me give you this: between 2018 and 2020, Mike was talking about the 2 different Allen Robinsons. Bears Allen Robinson, between 2018 and 2020, he was catching 6.3 balls a game for an average of 74.9 yards. 12 yards completion, 65%, 13 touchdowns in 32 games played. Now the more recent Allen Robinson, from 21 and 22, the Rams team, past 2 seasons, 22 games played, 3.23 catches a game for an average of 34 yards a game, 10 yards of reception, 60%. And 4 touchdowns. So what I don't think we're going to get the great Allen Robinson, because again, there's a plethora of weapons. There's so many people that are going to want the ball. And I don't think that you should deprive anybody. I think if you have all these weapons in the tight end and the running back and the receivers and the young receivers, you got to you got to move the ball around, spread it around. And I think that's only going to benefit, which I think is going to keep Allen Robinson's numbers pretty humble.
I'm looking at, like 500 yards, 500 to 600 yards.
That's
a handful of touchdowns.
Jericho Cotchery kind of.
And that veteran leadership, but
right.
He'll still be that guy. Like, hey, you need to convert this 3rd down. He still has great hands. He's still going to pull in those catches.
He looks very dependable from what I've seen. I was watching film. Very dependable hands, and that's huge compared to somebody who come in like a couple of seasons ago with Eric Ebron. We thought this guy was going to help, and the guy just didn't have hands. So
he did not.
Like Derpy, there is one reason Derpy did not like this move. It's because Allen Robinson did go to Penn State.
Oh, there we go.
But we know Derpy already hated.
I don't know about Big Ten out with you.
No, I'm actually a fan of this move.
You like his
I
movement?
like-
better be.
yeah.
Better be. Yeah, like my finger is hovering over.
It's a better option than Miles Boykin. I can tell you that much.
I agree.
Miles Boykin is damn good on special teams. You need
That's
special
it.
teams. You
That is
need
all.
players like Miles Boykin on special teams. You know,
I don't mind it, but he's not a very good
I agree.
receiver.
I agree with both
he's
of you.
not, but he is a damn good special teams player.
He's
and
a
you
good
need him
special
on your
teams player, but I do not want. He serves
Eh,
no
like
purpose
Derpy
for
probably
offense.
hated Darius Hayward bad just because he wasn't a great receiver, but he was a damn good
No,
special teams player. No. Let me live in my fantasy world, Derpy. Okay.
Mike loved Dante Moncrief.
Oh God,
He was
Boy,
great, man. He
boy,
was
was he
just
that
bad.
experiment.
Woo!
that the Kevin Colbert era gets glazed over for some successes, and there are a lot more failures than successes, especially in free agency.
Buda
Ooh.
Baker, guys. I personally don't think there's any chance in the world we land
No,
Buda Baker,
God,
not
no.
because we're not deserving, not because he doesn't want to come here, not because we don't want to pay him. I think that Buda Baker ain't going to come here because we've already made our safety moves.
Mm-hmm.
Once Terrell Edmonds left, when we signed Kazee, we
Heck,
brought in,
we may even draft the safety.
and if we do draft a safety, you're right. He's going to be a young guy. He's going to be to work into the team. I just and the other guy, Keanu Neal. I mean, the guy's already, he picked his number. He's going to be 31. Good. I seen yesterday he's going to be number 31, so keep an eye out for him. But Keanu Neal, we made that move. I think because of this, I think it's very, 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 very unlikely that the Buda Baker will come here. I like Buda Baker. Buda Baker's a damn good safety. But listen to these other teams that are in his line of interests. The Green Bay Packers, the Dallas Cowboys, Houston Texans, and the Philadelphia Eagles. So he's got a nice array of teams to choose from, to talk to, see what they're willing to pay him. I can't imagine in a million years that after we've already done what we've done at the safety position that Buda Baker will be wearing black and gold next year.
No, like, and also too, he wants like a monster contract too, and we already have TJ Watt.
Exactly.
Already have Minkah on monster deals, and the fans already want Highsmith to get another monster deal.
Yeah, see,
I think
I need to see another good season out of Highsmith before I make that call.
Yep.
I have to. I just, I am convinced, and I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's not a bad player, but I am convinced that his numbers as Bud Dupree's, probably as the next guy, probably as everybody that ever played opposite side of TJ Watt ever in the history of TJ Watt is probably played better and performed better. And I think I want to see more. I want to see more of Highsmith, and I want to see more of Highsmith when TJ's not on the field. Let's say, that period of time when he was hurt last year. That's when I want to see Alex Highsmith excel. That's when I want to see the guy, the player, the linebacker that Alex Highsmith is. The Alex Highsmith that we know and love is a result of TJ Watt being on the other side.
Yeah, and he showed last year he was not the guy without TJ Watt. He had 2-3 sacks without him.
Yeah,
all of his production came when TJ Watt was healthy or playing.
So in other words, it's exactly the Bud Dupree situation all over, which I'm fine with. Don't get me wrong; it's working for us.
He's a Batman. He's Robin. TJ Watt is Batman, but the amount of money he's going to want, that's Batman money. Goodbye.
Yeah,
we can draft your replacement.
Absolutely. And guess what? He can play just as well as you do.
Yeah.
Opposite TJ Watt.
Yeah. Because you have an all-world athlete on one side, and guess where the attention's going? Not to you.
Absolutely.
The other guy. You just need to be able to beat a tackle one-on-one.
And I'm not lowballing Highsmith. Like I said, I want to see him with TJ Watt. I want to see Highsmith dominate. And without TJ Watt, I want to see Highsmith be the linebacker that everyone believes that he is outright.
Like this year with TJ Watt playing a full year, he better, if they both play full years, if Highsmith has under 15 sacks, that's a bad year.
Because you watch the games, and you watch games and remember the games when Bud Dupree was here. It's the same exact situation.
Yeah, he was. And like when Bud, though, sometimes they would even double team him, and he would still beat those double teams because he had that confidence of,
Let me ask you
having
this.
that success of beating guys 1-on-1 because everyone was double teaming TJ. He knew, okay, hey, it's time for me to step up. I'm going to do it.
Let me ask you this. Say you have a team, you're GM, and you need 2 outside linebackers. I wouldn't be able to take Highsmith as my number 1.
No.
And build off of that.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Because you're not going to get you're not going to get the production. Again, I mean, this is what we've seen. And again, I'm not low balling the guy. The guy's a good football player. I give him that, and I want to see him do well, and I want to see him succeed. And I actually like him as a person. He seems like a very cool guy. But you're not going to build a team around him. He is, at this point in his career, he is that complimentary.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that,
No,
like he's not Kevin Green, he's not like a Greg Lloyd. Those two were an equal tandem,
right?
He's that guy. He's just the guy.
Maybe
he can. Yeah. Chad Brown started out as that guy, then became the guy.
Chad Brown was such a beast.
Yeah. So maybe, hey, if his career projects that way, awesome. I'd love that. But right now, he's just the apprentice. He's not an equal footing.
Forget who he said was somebody was in Kansas City earlier in this show. It might even been baseball. I don't know. But Blaine Gabbert, guys, the quarterback, Blaine Gabbert, he goes to the Kansas City Chiefs.
I saw that.
To back up the Mahomes.
Best job in football right there, boys.
Best job in football. You know what I'm watching? I'm thinking something the other day with the big Jalen Hurts in the Joe Burrow money and Lamar. The guy that should be getting mad paid is the guy that's playing quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. These other guys aren't getting it done. They never have. They have.
He is getting paid.
He should be paid like the most money out of everybody in pro football. I mean, this guy, he is the league right now as far as until anybody else could get it done, which the guy up in Buffalo hasn't gotten it done. Philadelphia hasn't gotten it done. Cincinnati hasn't gotten it done. They're getting there. They're not getting it done. Lamar Jackson, he was an MVP, but what's coming in his career? Who is the one that's consistent? I mean, these guys, they've been to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. They won 2 of them. This guy right here should be the name that you hear about constantly. Until, like I said, any of these, anybody else wins a Super Bowl, this guy's the only one that you should be hearing about.
Well, but he does. He signed that 10 after the first Super Bowl. He signed a 10-year, $455 million contract. So now that's
rightfully so.
But agents are like, okay, that's the baseline for an elite quarterback. Now the next one is to come along and trump.
He's the only elite quarterback I see. These other quarterbacks are choking. Elite means elite, until somebody else wins gold, until somebody else wins a ring besides Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's it.
Matthew Stafford surely wasn't an elite quarterback,
No, but I
understand what you're saying. Like that, his should have been like, okay, if I'm an owner, it's like, okay, there's almost Pat Mahomes getting paid. We're not paying a dime more than that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? For shits and giggles, I'll match it, but I'm not
paying you more, and you're not making more per year than him.
Yeah.
But if I'm a quarterback, I'm like, if you want me, you're going to pay me more than him, or at least equal. So I see where
they're coming from. Get yours, dude, because this league's going to chew you up and spit you out. But from a perspective, I'd be like, no, I ain't paying you more than him.
I don't know.
That's all I got on the quarterback situation.
I don't think
I think there should be
anybody should be paid more than that guy in that league.
No, there shouldn't be.
He's the best. He's the best player in that league. That's why he was the MVP again last year.
He's a freak of nature.
He is a freak of nature.
Give him an Oscar, everybody. Give him an Oscar.
With them childbearing hips that he has.
And that Kermit the Frog voice and the slander that Derpy throws his way daily.
Really?
Derpy does not. He's not a fan of Patrick.
You're not a Mahomes fan, Derpy.
I respect his game, but I don't like the biased stuff he gets.
That's all I'm saying. It's
not his fault, It's not his fault.
I recognize and I respect the game, and that he is the best quarterback in the league. No 2 ways about it. Beyond that, not a huge fan.
He's similar to Brady, Princess Brady. He's the new golden boy.
Yeah, but Mahomes doesn't sit there whine and cry.
I like watching Mahomes play football. I like watching
Derpy.
But that is the 2-minute warning, guys. Like, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website? And I have a special something when you're done.
2dumyinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Head on over there. We have links to YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Facebook, Instagram, emails, and the merchandise store, all at 2dumyinzers.com.
No, you can unmute everything.
I'm gonna mute Derpy every time I talk because he likes to interrupt me.
But everybody guess, Mike hit it right on the head. Go check it out, www.2dumyinzers.com. You'll find a bunch of cool things over there. We are live every day through the week, Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please keep continuing to check us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. You guys ready for a little trivia?
Ready.
All right. This is Colorado Rocky trivia. Colorado Rocky trivia, because we are finishing up the series with them today. The series that the Pirates already did win. We're hoping we could go for a clean sweep. But this is, guys, Colorado Rocky trivia. How confident are you, Derpy, in your Colorado Rocky knowledge?
Derpy's not that confident.
Yeah.
It's got to be about a pitcher.
About a pitcher,
or it's got to be about a heavy hitter, because that's all they're known for.
Mike, how confident are you with a trivia question about the Colorado Rockies?
Let's bring it. We'll see what I got here.
All right, here we go. The Colorado Rockies had a World Series appearance in 2007. Can anybody tell me who the coach was of that team? The Colorado Rockies had a World Series appearance in 2007. I'm looking for the manager, the skipper, if you will, of that team. Take a second to think about it.
I have two choices, I think. I'm going to go with either Blake Shelton or Lloyd McClendon.
Just because anytime I can say Lloyd McClendon brings a smile to my face.
All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to Mike first.
Going Blake.
And the question of the day is this. The Colorado Rockies went to the World Series in 2007. And their manager of that baseball team, Mike, was whom?
Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton. Is that your final answer? Blake Shelton. Ain't that a country singer?
Or who's our
Derek Shelton?
Derek Shelton.
Are you sure you don't want the country singer?
You know what? It might be a better choice, but I'm going to go with our Bucko skipper.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and lock Mike in on a Derek Shelton. Derpy, the Colorado Rockies went to the World Series in 2007. Can you tell me who their manager was?
I don't remember, so I'm just going to go with Rocky the manager.
Rocky the manager. And you want locked in on Rocky?
Yeah.
All right, Derpy's locked in on Rocky. All right, so Mike has a country singer. Derpy has a mascot. The question again, everybody, is this. The Colorado Rockies made a World Series appearance in 2007, coached by whom? Mike says Derek Shelton. Derpy says Rocky and Bullwinkle or whatever. Those are both incorrect, guys. The correct answer was Clint Hurdle. Hurdle, the Pirates manager of the team 10 years ago, that won consecutive playoffs. If you remember this, they needed to win 20. They won 21 of the final 23 games that season just to get into the playoffs. Hot streak, made it all the way to the World Series and sizzled out. Guys, Clint Hurdle was the coach of that 2007 Colorado Rockies ball club.
I knew it was a Bucko manager.
I thought you were going to nail it when you were saying Shelton. I thought you were going to correct yourself and say I mean Hurdle.
Yeah,
but that I knew I knew you were on the right line.
You know, I blocked out Clint Hurdle.
All right, it's all right. Stop yelling at me. Derpy, do you have anything before we take off? The big derp dog. And make it nice, because now we have direct lines of communications with your mother. So
is it 8 days now?
It is next Thursday, guys.
Here we go, Steelers.
All right, I like it. Don't get much better than that, Mike. Anything before we take off?
Yeah, like Derpy said, man, draft is around the corner. I am pumped. I am amped. I am ready to go. It needs to be here now.
I dig. Next Thursday, everybody, the draft. Everybody's chomping at the bit, especially here at the 2W For Derpy, Mike, Ryan, the two dumb yinzers, everybody have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.